It was one of the last places I ever expected to be, sitting in the living room of the Playboy Mansion near Los Angeles, across from the most notorious hedonist of his generation, Hugh Hefner, who was wearing his trademark pajamas and silk smoking jacket. At the time, I was hosting a national network television program called Faith Under Fire, and Hefner had agreed to be interviewed about his spiritual outlook. Well, during the interview, Hefner expressed a minimal belief in God as a word for the beginning of it all and the great unknown. He said the God of Christianity was a little too childlike for me. But it was interesting when I brought up the resurrection of Jesus, because he instantly saw the supreme relevance of it. Oh, he said, if one had any real evidence that indeed Jesus did return from the dead, then that is a beginning of a dropping of a series of dominoes that takes us to all kinds of wonderful things. It assures an afterlife and all kinds of things that we would all hope are true. Well, even though he conceded he had never investigated the evidence for himself, Hefner said he was a doubter. He said his rational side couldn't believe it. He concluded, I don't think Jesus is any more the Son of God than we are. Well, Hugh Hefner was right about one thing. If the resurrection of Jesus is true, it changes everything. The resurrection would confirm Jesus' identity as the unique Son of God. It would open the door of heaven for all who follow him. All kinds of wonderful things would fall into place. On the other hand, if it were a mere legend or a mistake, then Jesus would be just one more unfortunate crucifixion victim in a long line of revolutionaries and false messiahs. That's why this study is so important. Over the next 4 sessions, we're going to investigate the historical evidence and see whether it supports or undermines the central claim of Christianity, that Jesus returned from the dead. Now, this is more than just an academic exercise or an exercise in idle curiosity. Rather, it's the journey of a lifetime that really can change everything. I used to be a skeptic about the resurrection of Jesus. I'd seen plenty of dead bodies during my days as a journalist at the Chicago Tribune, and I'm telling you what, not one of them had ever come back to life, especially after 3 days. And I certainly wasn't alone in my disbelief. Muslims say Jesus didn't die on the cross, and therefore there was no resurrection. Specifically, the Quran says this about Jesus in Surah 4, verse 157. They did not kill him, nor did they crucify him. And many Hindus doubt that the resurrection took place as well. As a prominent Hindu leader declared, Jesus was only injured and after treatment returned to India where he actually died. And of course, atheists discount claims about the resurrection as well. In a recent book, one of them, who was a member of the left-wing Jesus seminar, declared simply, Jesus is dead. Well, it was my wife Leslie's conversion to Christianity that prompted me to use my journalism and legal training to systematically investigate the historical data for the resurrection, which ended up consuming nearly 2 years of my life. I framed the issue this way. Did Jesus claim to be the Son of God, and did he back up that claim by returning from the dead? Now, it's a fundamental teaching of Islam that Jesus never claimed to be the Son of God. My late friend Nabil Qureshi, a Muslim turned Christian, summarized Surah 5, verse 72 by saying, the Quran teaches that he who subscribes to the doctrine of a divine Christ will make his home in the flames of hell. One imam made this contention. There is no single scriptural text in which Jesus claimed explicitly to be divine.